What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be recording a little bit of voiceover with some footage. I filmed a pretty long vlog style episode about getting the Civic ready for track season, more of a chassis prep type thing. And some of the info is just a lot of content. The video would have been like 45 minutes long. Nobody's got time to watch all that, so I'm going to cut out a segment of that video and release it as its own separate video. This is going to be talking about installing crank window regulators in your Civic. This applies to two-door 92 through 95 Civics, that would be hatches and coupes. EKs, four-door EGs, and EFs I think are pretty similar, but I'm not sure that info is going to apply directly to those chassis. So bear with me here. This is going to be my first time doing a voiceover recording with a video, so hopefully it comes out all right. Let's get after it. So we're going to segue now into a little how-to on how to put manual windows in a Civic 92 through 95 that originally came with power windows. This definitely works for EKs as well. Not sure about EFs. Integras, there's a little bit of weird stuff you got to do because they never came with crank windows, at least not in the States. So let's flip the camera around. We'll talk about what kind of stuff we got going on now and what parts we're going to put in. This is a direct bolt-in swap. I'm just doing it because currently, to get out of the car on the trailer, you have to crawl out either the window or crawl out the trunk, and with the roll bar in there, it's terrible. So I'm just doing it because on the trailer, say the fender's right here, you can open the door just a little bit and you can sneak your hand down in here to get to a crank. I do it on the blue hatch all the time. Works out really well. So it's not a weight savings thing. This is just a convenience thing for me. I already got this side done, super easy, stripped all the wiring out that I don't need. This car originally came with power windows, power locks, power mirrors. I'm going to be keeping the power mirrors just because they work. I have no aspirations of putting any weird mirrors on this car, at least not right now. So I started off, I got the window down, and we're just going to unbolt the window, pull it out the top, and then bolt the new regulator in. This is just a regulator for a DX Civic, VX, CX, whatever, doesn't have power windows. Super easy. I'm going to pull this little guy off, get all the wiring detached. Since I have the fender off the car, I can get to this door plug super easy, and I'm actually de-pinning the harness, taking out all the wiring that I'm not going to need. I'm going to be leaving the power lock servos in the car just because I would like to actually replace the latches with a non-power latch. Let's take a look at the latch mechanism in here. I need to replace this latch anyways. The door handle doesn't close on its own. It's super annoying. There's some messed up stuff in here, but for now, I'm just gonna leave this little pigtail attached for the power lock. My power locks never worked because there was a bunch of corrosion in the door plug on the other side of the car, but I'm just gonna leave this thing exactly where it is. It's gonna keep it out of the window. We should be totally fine. So let's get this window unbolted and pulled out. I'll show you the bolts here, and then right through here, there's another bolt, just 10 mils. The window lifts right out of the car. You just kind of got to tilt it, and it should come right out. So I got the window ripped out of this thing. Bolt here, bolt in here. I just tipped it forward like this, and then I lifted it up out of the top. It's sitting up here on top of the car on a moving blanket. Don't want to scratch my freshly sunroof deleted roof. But the next step is to remove all these 10 millimeters. There's 4 10 millimeters here and then 2 here. And I think that there's another set. No, I think that's it. The wiring for the window motor clips in right here. Pull that on the other side. You don't have to actuate the window motor at all to be able to get it out of there. You just have to get the bolts in a position where you can get to them. So just drop all these bolts, and then the thing should be able to slide out of this bottom area. And then the new one is going to use different bolt locations, but the doors are drilled the same. Since the knob comes through here, I think you're going to use these 2 bolts and these 2 bolts, but same. This is all the same. And then I'll show you how to adjust the window once you get everything apart. Here is the window regulator on the ground. This stuff all can move around independently of the crank. So you don't need to move it up or down or anything like that. You just knock all the bolts out. It falls down to the bottom and you just fish it out of the inside of the door. Now I'm going to go get my new regulator and bolt it up after I put some lube down the side rails where the window rides, just to make it go up and down a little bit smoother. Helps to put it all back together a little bit quicker, and it should be pretty easy. So here's the new window regulator. This is just some Dorman thing I got off Rock Auto. It was like 30 bucks. So 60 bucks total to convert your car over to crank windows. Door panels are a different story, but this guy just bolts right in. I'll show you the differences in the bolt holes where it goes. I need to strip off some more of this plastic. I'm gonna try and get all the butyl tape off this thing with a heat gun once I get all this stuff installed, but it's super easy. You just gotta chuck these guys in. The crank hole all lines up, everything's totally fine. The hardest part's just adjusting the window, which I'll show you in just a second. Here's what the manual regulator looks like while it's installed. If you can see, these are the bolts that were used for the power regulator. These are the bolts that were used for the manual regulator. They're both there. Everything's totally fine. I don't see a reason for Honda to make two different door shells just for a window option change. Everything's in there like minimally tight. I always try and leave everything loose so that I can adjust the window once I get the window back in the car. But you gotta get your crank. These are some Chinese garbage units. I need to go find some at the junkyard that are actually worth having, but I didn't put the little clip in just so I can move the window up and down. And you wanna put the window track so that you can see it through the hole to be able to put your bolts in. And it slides back and forth, and then you drop the window back in, take your two 10 mils and thread them into the window once you've dropped it in, and then you try and hook the 10 mil through this bolt hole right here. It makes it a whole lot easier to get it all together. If you try and bolt it up with the window in the car with no bolts in it, huge pain in the ass. Took me quite a while to do that yesterday when I did the driver's side. So learn from my mistakes, put the bolts in right after you drop the window down through the door. Makes it a whole lot easier. So I dropped the window in. It's just sitting on these little tabs here loosely. You're gonna wanna tighten these guys up, both sides. Just a little bit. You don't have to blast them down or anything. They're 10 mil bolts. Tighten these guys up, and you're gonna leave everything else loose, and then roll the window all the way up, and then tighten these bolts down first, and then tighten the rest of the stuff down, and it should be aligned. Let's see how it works. So it looks like everything's just about done. Window goes up and down. The gap's pretty decent on this side. The window is disgusting. Yes, I know. I'm gonna wash this whole car once it is able to drive on its own power. That's its treat that it gets. But the way that I ended up doing it, rolled it all the way up with the bolts loose here, tightened them down. The gap wasn't great, so I rolled it up to about this point, and then I was able to lift my hand on the back of the window, and you can see this bolt will drop as you lift the window. I kind of gave it a little bit of help, pushed it down to the very bottom where it was when I took the factory window regulator out, and it seems like the gap is a lot better. It takes a little bit of effort to roll it up and down. It's a little bit tight. Hopefully it'll wear in. A little bit of grease down here probably won't hurt, but not too bad if I do say so myself. Super cheap. I wouldn't say an upgrade. It's kind of like a sidestep, but we should be having a lot better of a time loading this thing on the trailer now, or at least me getting out of the car once I load it on the trailer. So hopefully that answered a couple questions on whether doing a manual window conversion is worth it, if it's a direct bolt-in swap. It's pretty easy. Didn't take me very long to do both sides. I ended up going in and de-pinning a lot of the wiring inside the door, trying to simplify the car as much as I can. Sorry for the little bit jumbled up video. This is just footage from a different video that I'm repurposing into a new video. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching as always. Thank you guys for the support over nearly 3 years of me making automotive video content. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. Please like, comment, subscribe. Finally started saying it in the videos, but we're almost there, guys. So thank you for watching once again, and I will see you next time.